Good morning. My name is Phil Hewitt, Group Arts Editor at Sussex Newspapers. It's fantastic to be speaking to Ian Hallard about the play The Way Old Friends Do, which is coming to and you've got a t-shirt. I hadn't noticed that, which is coming to Brighton Theatre Royal in May. And goodness, you've waited for this. You've had to wait. This was going to happen in that awful lockdown period of pretty much exactly 3 years ago. How close were you to that production back then?
Yeah, we were just about to schedule it in March 2020. So yeah, when a pause happened, I just went, oh, this is typical, just my luck. I start writing plays just as all the theatres close and nobody knows if and when
You
they will
shut
ever
them down.
reopen. I did, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you despair of it ever happening? It was so difficult to see any
I
way out, wasn't it, at the time?
well, I knew there was a lot of activity and a lot of goodwill and people who were on board really loved the play and wanted to do it. It was more the fact that obviously nobody knew if and when theatres
Yeah.
would reopen again. So I was optimistic that once things went back to normal, that it would have a life, but just nobody knew.
But it sounds like it should have a life, doesn't it? Just that starting point, the tagline, which, as you say, is it's two mates deciding to form the world's first ABBA tribute band in drag. Explain that one. Where did that come from?
It goes back to my lifelong obsession with ABBA and love of them. And once I'd had the idea, I wanted to write a part for myself. So that kind of limited. You
Yeah.
needed to be a sort of middle-aged man, and I was interested in exploring gay friendships as opposed to relationships as
Mm.
well. Obviously, as particularly as I'd settled on this the title, which is a lesser known ABBA song. So it all kind of came from that, really. And once I'd had the idea of the drag tribute band, a lot of my friends who I spoke to about it got very excited. And I did have to clarify to them. I said, I'm not starting a drag ABBA tribute band. I've just written a play about one. So,
Oh, it sounds brilliant. It must be so pleasing that it is now actually happening.
yeah, it's lovely. And it's really feel good fun. I mean, I think after the last couple of years we've had, people just want something to be kind of taken out of themselves and just have a laugh. And just the image of the cross-dressed ABBA band. I mean, it reduced us to hysterics in rehearsals. We basically lost the whole afternoon once the wigs and beards arrived, and we just couldn't really look at each other in the eye.
Oh my
So I
goodness.
think so. I mean, but there's sort of an emotional kind of truth to it as well. It's not just sort of all froth
Mm.
and camp nonsense, although there's a fair bit of that as well.
And whatever happens, you can't blame the writer, can you?
No, exactly. Well,
Or you can.
you can, yeah, yeah, but yeah. So that's a bit scary, but thankfully I've got a very talented cast of lovely comic actors who
And
are
quite some
delivering my words to
director, it
perfection.
has to be said, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's all right.
Come on, mention his name. He is, of course.
Yes, he's my other half, Mark Gatiss. So yeah, so it's been lovely getting to work with him. Although I think some people don't appreciate that once a show's up and running, that's the director's job done. They might pop in occasionally
Yeah,
to just have a look and check in on and see how everyone's doing, but he doesn't go around touring with us.
yeah. But that
So
must be such an interesting sort of cross relationship, the fact that he's directing you in something that you wrote.
that I've written. Yeah, I know it
Where
sounds like
does
a nightmare, doesn't
responsibility
it?
begin and end with that?
Exactly. That sounds like a nightmare waiting to happen. Um, well, I have drawn the comparison with obviously with ABBA themselves, who obviously were romantically involved, and obviously that all went pear shaped. But I said, well,
So
if
this
that
could be the
happens
end of
with
you
us,
then.
well, even if it is, we know that if we follow the ABBA model, we'll kind of get back together in 40 years' time in digital form. So it'll all be okay.
So there's hope.
Um, but no, it was. I mean, we were fairly confident. We were very confident that it would all be okay. We've collaborated together on a lot of stuff over the years, not necessarily in this configuration with me as actor, writer, and him as director, but we do like each other. We're quite sort of simpatico in terms of what we think works artistically, and it's nigh. It never happens really that we go and see a play or a film and go, well, one of us thinks that a particular performance was great and the other one doesn't. So I thought we were on the same page, and happily that's how it ended up. So there wasn't any conflict in the rehearsal room.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds the perfect combination. Really lovely to speak to you. Good luck. And And
Thank you very
looking
much.
forward to seeing you and it in Brighton in May.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy.
Great to speak to you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.